If you guys would like to get yourself some official Simpzy merchandise, check out my Spreadshirt link in the description below for t-shirts, hoodies, mugs and cups. If you do make a purchase, send me a photo on Twitter, but regardless, let's get stuck into the video. Hey guys, my name is Simpzy, how are you all doing? Welcome back to some more Hearts of Iron 4. We're playing as Japan on the Road to 56 mod. This is episode 4. So guys, if you still are enjoying this series and would like to see more, the best way to ensure more content is leave a like. Subscribe if you're new around here, and let me know in the comment section down below your feedback and constructive criticism for the series. Let me know tactics, where would you like me to expand in this campaign series. If you're not enjoying the Hearts of Iron 4 series and not enjoying us play as Japan, feel free to leave a dislike and let me know in the comments maybe a suggestion for a different strategy game. It sort of lets me gauge the general consensus. So, it's currently the 4th of March 1942. We're playing as Fascist Japan. I have skipped a little bit ahead simply because in the last episode we spent the entirety of it trying to get to this part of the Soviet border. Basically, right, I thought there was no point recording for 30-40 minutes, just basically slowly but surely pushing through this line and making ground with Finland. We've actually got a really good offensive going on. So I thought the time is now to actually try and push for it. So let's have a look at the Japanese army. In this series, there's three things what I really want to achieve. Obviously be the supreme power within Asia. That's what I want to do. I also want to have Japanese troops actively fighting side by side with Fascist Germany, the German Reich, Adolf Hitler's German Reich, and also I want to occupy the west coast of the United States of America. That's what I really want to do. So, in today's episode, hopefully we can capitulate the Soviet Union. That's who we're going to be having a crack at the moment. We're currently pushing against them. We have roughly around about 60 divisions in this front border. This series has been crazy at the moment. I'll break down the wars in a minute, but we're not even at war with Poland here. So that we're slowly but surely making a lot of ground here. We are fighting with Germans, but the majority of us are actually punching through the front line. At the moment, look like we're going to be, 6 tiles? That looks like 8 more than that. We're pushing towards Moscow, Novgorod here as well. With the help of the Germans pushing from the south in Norway, we've managed to establish a relatively strong front line. Also, Norway is doing naval invasions there as well. So, we've got roughly around about 60 divisions here pushing for the heart of the Soviet Union. I really wanted to attack the Soviet Union from the west instead of the Eastern Asian states. So, roughly got about 60 here. I would say we've probably got about 50 there. So, around about 100 active divisions fighting. We have a total of 186. 24 of those are currently on sort of home defense, as you can see, holding my Japanese islands. So I would say it's probably 40 divisions here on the border with the sort of Chinese border here, and we're just pretty much holding out. It's going to be tough because look at this, right? There are actually a hell of a lot of divisions here, and it's a nightmare trying to push through this region of the world, especially with that low supply. So at the moment, we're just sort of holding out, tying most of the Soviet divisions here, because there's 6 divisions here, right? I have no aim, if you can capitulate the Soviet Union and take pretty much everything west of this mountain range, you've pretty much taken the heart of Russia. But it's pretty interesting that we had to push through the German territory. We're choked between Estonia and Poland, but I reckon we can have a serious offensive pushing into the heart of Moscow. So there's a German unit here pushing with Japan. I love how we're fighting side by side. It's absolutely fantastic. So wars lies, let's have a quick look at the war. So we've got the Soviet-German war. We've currently put 700k manpower into it. We've lost 1.9 million, they've lost 2.3. The German Reich have only lost 300,000. I don't know why our war percentage is so low there. The Italians have done really well. They have had a crack at the French. Yeah, I'm going to give that to them. So I'm just sort of giving a gauge. So at the moment, I'm probably going to give the entirety of Russia pretty much to me. I will give the German Reich a decent amount because they've committed 300,000 forces. The United Kingdom, how well have they done? So they've committed 166k. The British Raj have done well, especially in Asia with 200k there. So I'm just having a look here. Finland probably give some of their territory back. The United Kingdom had some... Okay. So just looking at that war, because I use a faction manager, because... I actually prefer, but the thing is, right, the AI tends to puppet factions a hell of a lot, and they also manage to cause massive border gore. So I'd rather deal and dish out the war score on the faction. So probably what I'll do, as you can see here, the United Kingdom actually are fighting quite convincingly in the north. So I'll probably give northern France to the Brits, give France to Italy, Italy to France, sorry, probably give the British Raj, because they've actually pushed quite well through Afghanistan. Obviously got my puppets here, the Tibetan Empire, the Himalayan Empire, and the Thunder Dragon Empire in Bhutan. So that's what we're sort of looking, while giving myself the majority of the Soviet Union. We've got the Colombian-German War as well. I don't know why that's different there. Huh, alright, fair enough. And then we've got the Indian-Asian, the Indo-Asian British War. Now, I'll quickly show you guys the factions if you're not aware, because we've got a really interesting thing going on. So we've got 4 factions in this series. Yes, 4 factions. We've got the Axis forces, of course, here in the East, Asia. Then we have the Benelux Economic Union, which obviously the Dutch and the, what are they called? The Belgians are in. They've got Turkey on side and Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia has taken a huge chunk here of former Allied territory. They've got Egypt under their control, Saudi Arabia. I think this is... Oh, this is the Assyrian Empire here. But the thing is with Saudi Arabia, they have amassed a hell of a lot of territory here. Just look at that. Look what they've amassed. They've got the entirety of near the Arabian Peninsula. They've taken the Suez and Egypt, and they've pushed really far down into Africa, which is insane. But just looking at the faction here, they've got a strong power in the Middle East. Comintern there. I am using a lot of mods for this series as well. I'll put in the description below. But without further ado, it's probably time to just sort of have a crack at the front line here. Started us off. At the moment, decision-wise, not really too much we can do. Infantry equipment-wise, we're currently getting better quality tanks, heavy tanks. We're getting modern blitzkrieg as well. We're improving our artillery. Diplomacy-wise, not much we can do. Trade-wise, we've still got a deficit of aluminium and oil. I am currently constructing steel and oil eventually. The fall of Kiev. Kiev has fallen. Right, we're currently getting equipment 3 as well. We're doing quite well. We've got 98 military factories and recruitment and deploying. So we're currently got a deficit of rifles by the look of it. 49,000. Crikey. That's because we're currently fighting. There's a small pocket of Soviet resistance there. Colombian has joined the... That's fine. It's probably merged those wars. Yeah, it has, which is fantastic. Okay, so... Oh, we're going to be able to surround and kill them there. Push for this. Why is this Soviet light tank pushed through? We're on the footsteps of Kiev now. Sorry, Moscow. And let's send a... I don't want a non-aggression pact with them. Let's send a truck into Moscow. The fall of Leningrad. Excellent. Oh, there's a bit of Soviet resistance there, but... As you can see, we've got a lot... We're really, like... hammering it home. And we've taken Moscow. Excellent stuff. What are the Soviets at to capitulating now? 46%. So, we're pushing down from the north. This is my home defense here. These guys are doing okay. You guys are doing okay as well. I'm trying to think... Yeah, these guys are actually on the attack. We are pushing a little bit. I'm trying to think, should I push you? Sure, let's put the offensive in China. One of my main concerns in China was just trying to push the fall of Moscow. The Japanese have taken Moscow. Who would have thought? Advance the forward line. Like, sometimes I just don't get the AI sometimes. Like, why wouldn't you really go headstrong into that? Okay, we're currently... Whoa! France responds to Thai demands. It comes as no surprise. The expose France Can France hold their territories? I'm not entirely sure what's happened here. They joined the Axis. Yeah, so at the moment, are we currently boosting any factions? Boosting in Sweden and Cuba. Because we've flipped over Mexico, they're currently Axis. We've flipped over Brazil as well. Turkey's gone democratic. I wanted to flip over Sweden. And what was that other country? Cuba. Yeah, I wanted to flip over Cuba because I thought it would be quite funny to let them have a crack at the States, potentially. Armies-wise, we've currently got guys in the port of Nagasaki. We'll send them over to China as we have spare divisions, unfulfilled import requests. That sucks. Do we have that many active fighters just chilling? We've got a decent amount. We currently have air superiority in Manchuria. I'm trying to think, should we try and give ourselves air superiority here? It's probably not a bad idea, getting some air wings operation. Luxembourg has capitulated. So let's get a European air wing. So, the Treaty of Luxembourg. Assyrian Empire took 2 states. Whoa, what's happened there? Was that war? No, something happened then. What the hell? So we've got the Vlasma Republic. And we've got the Wallion. It's obviously Belgium's been split up. So it looks like they've been puppeted. Huh. Oh no, okay, they've completely flipped. Oh, that war's gone. That war's completely gone. Huh. Yeah, so it looks like... Yeah, they lost. They lost that war. So the Benelux Dutch faction has capitulated, and it's flipped over this. So the Dutch East Indies are actually independent. Really? Huh. They're not in the Allies. We could actually have a crack at trying to claim some of that territory. Comintern France is still there. So, it looks like Saudi Arabia has become a republic, and so have the Syrians, and so has Turkey. So, it's not good that the Allies have taken basically Benelux. There's a pretty funny offensive going on here in Ireland. The Communist Irish are currently fighting against the Brits, who Lord Edward Halifax is currently the faction leader, the Prime Minister. Let's have a crack at try and move them on. Okay, research-wise, there's probably not a bad idea to get anti-tanks. We're actually fighting the Soviets quite convincingly. We're slowly pushing here, though. We haven't taken too much ground. Yeah, guys, come on. Like, are you really that spastic? There's free territory here. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Gobble that shit all up, man. That's what we need. Back quite high there. Soviet Union. So if Colombia, French Commune, Yugoslavia, Greece, Ireland, Mongolia. So, yeah, we're doing most of the fighting and most of the dying within Europe, so we're going to have the biggest claim to the Soviet Union. Okay, wow, look at this. We're about to surround and kill 5 divisions here. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. We may have lost Moscow, but we're about to surround and get them there. Finish them off here. Surround and get them at Kaliningrad. These guys are gone. We're pushing well here in Finland as well. We're doing really well. Yeah, they're going to be surrounded and gone as well. There's not much. Oh, here we go. Manchukuo seeks permission to expand navy. Manchukuo officials have come to the decision about permission about expanding their navy. Agree? No way. Manchukuo, you feel free to do you. I do plan for this series as well to... Oh, push on Moscow. I do plan to make my own faction, the Empire of the Rising Sun, or the Land of the Rising Sun. The Empire of Japan. I definitely want to do that in this series. Okay, so we're pushing down to Sevastopol now. We could even give... Oh no, Greeks weren't even on our side. I was going to say we could even give the Greeks there because I remember Cameria back in the day. Oh, Yeah, it was a Greek faction there. We need to push and take this. Yeah, the Greeks held territory way back in the day. Okay, so we've overrun them quite easily. This front line's really doing absolutely everything. God, we've got some guys here, though. Push, surround, and kill them. We're carving up the Soviets like carving a cake. How is Stalin still at the helm? Where even was I? I was deploying Air Force assets within Europe, wasn't I? I'm going to have to redeploy them where I can. But let's just try and get as many of my flyboys. Whoa, what was that? Was that Brazil against the United States? I am using the Chaos AI mod, which is a bit bonkers. So how many active fighters do we have? 1,700. Well, is there somewhere... I just saw a naval base with 2,000. We've taken one here. Maybe try and get some active fighters there. So what was that? What was that about Brazil? The United States of Brazil? What is this? Democratic? Yuck. Yeah. United States of Brazil. Well, that sucks. We flipped them to fascist as well. Damn it. Well, I reckon she's all over Red Rover. It's G fucking G for the Soviets. There's not really much else we can do down this side of the tech tree. Imperial Glory. Let's get those advanced rockets. Yeah, but at the moment, we've stretched the Soviets too thin. If they actually bunkered down, and this was tough, they actually had some land forts here as well. But it just basically took so long. The thing is with Hearts of Iron, if you continually just fucking hammer and keep on putting pressure against these points, right, you can really punch through. That's why the best way to take England, if you're playing as a smaller faction, you only got like 30 divisions or so, you're better off landing in East Anglia here and slowly but surely pushing it. It might take 1, maybe 2 years, but you're definitely going to be able to do it. Let's get these anti-tanks rolling because I want to be able to have anti-tanks within my tank divisions. The thing is, right, we're not particularly going to need field hospitals, but having a anti-tank support is going to be massive for us. Especially seeing these guys, well, the thing is, right, we've actually done relatively well. You'd think you would need anti-tank support, especially going up with the advanced Soviet armor. But like I said, we've actually done really, really well under the circumstances without it. So we're going to have to add towered tanks to the production line now. We are playing on 1.5 Cornflakes as well, the brand new updated Hearts of Iron. So I'm still trying to get my head around some new things. But if we can drop some of these heavy tanks down, semi-modern tanks as well, I want to try and get that... I want to try and get those anti-tanks within my armies as quickly as possible. We've still got a lot of unassigned divisions here, and we'll send them to the port of Shanghai. We'll try and chuck them on a front line somewhere. We've got a bit of an offensive here going out, which is fantastic. So what I'll do is I'll chuck these 4 blokes onto this front line, and we'll see how we go. I can't do it for everyone because I've actually just accidentally put way too many in that division. Which sucks, so I'm just going to have to rejig it here. So where is someone else? There's a purple line here, there's only 12 in that division. So, that's fine. Okay, let's continue up the offensive. Okay, we can't actually push through there because it looks like the British Raj are having a decent crack at them. What are the Soviets at to capitulating now? 58%. Indian-British war here. Yeah, no faction, Dutch East Indies. That's weird as. But at the moment, it's still us putting the major war contribution of losing 1.1 million men. And that's going to give us a huge demand of the assets once the Comintern breaks up. Once we've dealt with the Comintern, next is the Allied forces. And once we've done with that, we need to focus on having a crack at probably the Germans once we're done with the Allies in the States. We're going to be able to get through to America quite easily because we have, of course, Mexico on side. But at the moment here, guys, we are just hoovering up territory left, right, and center. I'm probably going to have to rejig my front lines because, as you can see here, we've got Finland under our belt and Yeah, we're just surrounding and killing Soviets left, right, and center. We've killed 2.1 million. Legionary Romania joins the Axis. Fantastic. Yeah, 1.6 Soviets killed. 1 million Japanese killed. How well is everyone else doing in this fight with the Allied forces? 240 British Raj. Man, the British Raj have committed way more troops. That's insane. Okay, I've redone my front lines, which took a little while, but we'll be fine. 11 divisions are actually pushing down for the Caucasus here. We've managed to put the 18 pushing for this mountain pass. We're slowly pushing it here in China. Alright, 24 divisions pushing for the heart here. The Soviets are going to capitulate. So once we take... It's basically once you push to that mountain range, you laugh. And what's the capital now? Stalingrad. Man, it's crazy that the Germans got this far, you know. They actually were fighting here. Mexico declares war against Guatemala. What? Greece has capitulated. Okay, allows kamikaze strikes in air missions. That's what we want. Man, we should be hoovering up this territory. And we are, which is great. Just keep going. Take this river. You'd be mad not to. Get over the river, guys. Okay. How many divisions does Tibet have? 28? That's bonkers. Oh, we're actually pushing them there. Right, the offensive is coming on. Right, let's request these divisions. 1 point... So many manpower. Let's see what the Tibetan Empire is currently operating with. So they only got weapons 2 in their stuff. So these are pretty trash divisions. Only weapons 2. Checkmate division, 600 rifles. Okay. Well, I originally wanted these divisions here to be a army... 28. We're going to have to get rid of some of them. I wanted this army to defend against the British Raj. That's what the intention was. But what we're going to have to do instead is probably let them have a crack at finishing off the Soviets, just to practically speed things up. So where's the best place for us to push it? Probably in this pocket here. There's actually not too many of them. So let's move you blokes up here. That's probably a good enough front line. And get into the heart of the Soviet Union. It's time to light the beacons of Ahmadiyyan, the Tibetan Empire. Or Japan calls for aid from the Tibetan Empire. Right, we can get a decent amount of divisions here from Manchukuo, but I kind of like how they're sort of defending their territory as well. Okay, are these flyboys actually full operational? Oh wow, okay, so they finally moved out that air force, I think. No, they didn't. We're trying to move up. But it still seems that even though my guys aren't at full capacity, we're still operating quite well. I love how there's like a rogue Soviet unit there. Oh, God, I love surrounding and killing Soviets. Putting them to the slaughter. Ah! For the White Army. Right. Will we put a monarchist government back in Russia? No. Should we puppet Russia? Maybe. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. Colombia has capitulated. How are they doing against Guatemala, Mexico? They seem to be doing alright. The fall of Dublin. Aye. Okay. They must be on the ropes here now. Yeah, I don't know why the Dutch are in this war somehow lumped into it. That was weird how that sort of glitched out. Not really too many losses here. 1.3, man. We've done a lot of fighting, and we've done a lot of the dying. Sure hope it's worth it. But the Japanese have taken pretty much every key and strategical point within the Soviet Union. We've taken Moscow, and it's only going to be a matter of time before a Japanese battalion takes Stalingrad, the name of the boss. I haven't seen Enemy at the Gates in a while. I probably should re-watch it. The best bit was when Hellboy gets like Ron Perlman or whatever his fucking name is, gets shot like mid-air. It's just such a fucking great shot. And the music as well in that. Fuck me. Right, we need to go back to production and construction because I've kind of neglected it for a little bit. It's been total war in this episode. And just look how much territory we've gained. The thing is, right, it took me, I shit you not, took me 40 minutes to get from here to here. That's why I just sort of like cut it out because I was like, this is going to be boring. How can I commentate over it? This is boring as. I'd rather get to a point where we're like, we've got a really good headway and just watching the Japanese forces. We've got like over 100 divisions actively fighting here, which is fantastic. We've still got Archie up in the north, which we need to take, and they could very well capitulate. So I'll just quickly double check at the Soviet... Oh, they're about to capitulate. So I'm just going to pause and have a quick look. So the German rifle have lost 500k. We've committed 1.5 million, so we're going to have the majority of the take. I've got to remember Italy as well. My puppets I'll ignore. The United Kingdom only lost 200k, the British Raj 250, and basically everyone else's war contribution is pretty redundant. It's not actually worth that much. Is it different in this war? No, it's still the same amount, 213. That's the same as that, isn't it? If it's exactly the same, I'm going to be pissed. Yeah. Oh, okay, so it's actually more. My bad. 205 for the Brits. 213. Okay. For some reason, this has been calculated. So the Brits are roughly around about 400k. 580. $560, $580 there. Okay, so there is some difference here. But not with the Axis by the look of it. Okay. So the Brits probably have more of a claim than what I originally thought, but still relatively accurate. If we take Archie now, I reckon it's GG for the Soviets. Haven't really decided what I'm going to do. I could actually puppet a piece in Siberia. That could be cool. But I definitely want to take the majority of it for myself, probably. And that's it. The Soviets have capitulated. The Soviet Union has capitulated. We have managed to receive, wowzers, 580k. Oh my god. 8. Fuck me. That's a lot of rifles. 28.5k. 27.9k, 92.7k. Man, we've just found the equipment to hold up our army. So we've got to dish out the French Commune, the Soviet Union, Colombia, Yugoslavia, Greece, Ireland, and Mongolia. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the peace conference, the Treaty of Casablanca. And then I'll show you how the world shapes up. Okay, guys, the peace conference has ended. We have signed the Treaty of Casablanca. So I'll go through how I've divvied up the world. So we managed to divvy up the French Commune, Soviet Union, Colombia, Yugoslavia, Greece, Ireland, Mongolia, and Finland was neutral for some reason. Anyway, okay, so I'll show you guys how I divvied up the world. So naturally, I gave Ireland to the Brits. They fought there. In France, the Brits fought in the north quite a lot, so I've given them their old former territories of Normandy and Brittany. I gave, of course, the majority of France to Italy. Unfortunately, I accidentally clicked off Provence and Corsica, which I forgot. So I accidentally gave them to me when I was just like, okay, that's done. I've divvied it all up. I'll just give the rest of the shitty islands to me, and that was accidentally there. So that's a shame. I probably should give that to Italy at some point. I gave the Germans this as well. Also gave Italy the entirety of Yugoslavia and Greece. Moving over to the Middle East as well, I gave the French overseas territories to the United Kingdom. Now, the Brits had a lot more war score, so I wanted to give them a decent chunk of Africa, even though they didn't really fight too much in there. Gave Italy an expanded bit, as well with the Germans. The way the war sort of ended up, I wanted to give them territory, but I couldn't really give them too much in the Soviet Union because I wanted that, and I did most of the fighting and the dying there. So I gave them a huge chunk of Northern Africa here. I've also expanded the Germans here. I'm trying to think what else is there just sort of around the world before I sort of focus on the Soviet Union. I guess we can go straight for it then. So what I've gone and done is I've taken the entirety of the Soviet Union for myself, bar 3 puppeted countries. I made the decision to liberate the Ukrainians and give back their homeland. They are now fascist, they are now puppeted, they are my vassal. I wanted to make a bit of a buffer zone between the Europe and, of course, Russia, my heartland. I've still got Moscow, I've still got Stalingrad, I've still got, like, St. Petersburg, Kaliningrad, but I wanted to create a bit of a barrier. We've liberated these people, we've come in, they're going to be more willing to fight and die with us, and they're going to be able to, like, hold their territory a lot more because we've given them independence from the Russians. I've also brought back Belarus as well, expanding their territory, and I've kept the key city of Kaliningrad. Now, I've made the decision to puppet the Soviet Union. Yes, I've made the decision to puppet them, so they should be fascist now. They'll switch to, like, that sort of, like, yellow, kind of like a German-looking flag, the fascist Soviets. Now, I had a decision to make. I wanted to pop them up in Siberia. I thought it'd be cool to, like, to exile some of the remaining troops. The thing is, right, if you puppet a faction, you get some of their equipment, especially, we're going to get all their fleet, because they've got a massive fleet still. The Soviets, that's going to be puppeted for us, and they've got superior technology to me. So I was like, okay, I can chuck them up here in Siberia for the lols, but they're not going to have actually any infrastructure, no buildings, no resources to actually build anything. So seeing as we've sort of got this, like, buffer zone here, I thought it'd be quite natural to put them in the Finnish border here. So we've got Arki up here. I've given them Murmansk. We've still got naval capacity as well, seeing as we've puppeted them, but we're probably not going to push through Finland, that's the thing. So, we've obviously got the Caucasus. I thought about bringing Georgia back, or maybe Azerbaijan, but I've made the decision to take it for myself. Ah, fuck, I didn't give the British Raj anything. Damn it. To be fair, we can play it off as the Brits didn't give them any territory because they are their puppets. I managed to take Mongolia for myself. Obviously took down here as well. We've taken a lot of the French Commune's territories, like New Caledonia and whatnot. I also puppeted Madagascar as well. We satellite them. I thought that'd be funny to take Madagascar. But yeah, that's pretty much the war room being divvied up. Let's end the peace conference there. It's over. It's now calculating the effects. And then we will, we'll go through it all. So 28 states for Italy, 17, 13, 118 for us. I also gave Venezuela, Colombia as well. We managed to seize 37,000 equipment. And let's go through it all now, shall we? Okay, so here we have the Ukrainians, of course. Yes, they're fascists. They are now my puppet. Fantastic. We've also got nationalist Bulgaria. And then we've got the Russian Empire in the north. Oh, it's a swastika as well. Constantine. Nice. So they're now fascist as well. Like I said, they've got ships. So this is where the Russian Empire is going to be. But look at this, right? Oh, holy crap. Domi arigato, Mr. Roboto. Look at the Axis forces now. So our next target is probably to hit the Allied forces, British Raj, Australia down here. It's probably not a bad idea to have a crack at, like, the Dutch East Indies there. They're still battling it out, actually. The Guatemalan and Mexico war. But yeah, this is the territory we currently own. We've still got the Tibetan Empire, Siamese. Oh, they're not our puppet, but they really quite like me, Siam. Yeah. Manchukuo here. I do plan to leave the Axis at some point. Oh, it looks like the Union is still there. The Benelux one. But Poland still hasn't gone to war. Austria, Hungary either. Same with Sweden. So we've still got a hell of a lot more work to do in this Japanese campaign. But yeah, we're probably going to have... So what can we do in the next episode? We could maybe have a crack at hitting Iran, Afghanistan, maybe some of these neutral countries, Poland, Sweden. We could very well try and go to war with the United States. We could even make our own faction and then have a crack at them straight on. But maybe the next task is to hit the Allied forces. And I reckon the majority of our push would come from Africa here. We're going to want to try and navally invade them. Oh, the 3 states as well. I love how Switzerland has their own faction. But regardless, guys, we've currently got 173 military factories now. And resources are currently through the roof. Unfortunately, guys, it is time to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comment section down below your feedback for the series. And if you would like to see more, that's the best way to ensure more content. Leave a dislike if you're not enjoying the series. Check out my social media links if you want to stay connected with me. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all in the description below. Highly recommend Twitter. Every single time I post a video, a tweet goes out. It's much more reliable than the YouTube sub box. These days, to get all the notifications for the channel, you have to click the bell, of course, to join the notifications squad. I do enjoy reading those comments. If you guys would like to get yourself some cheap and reliable games, check out my G2A affiliation link in the description below. Maybe you can pick up a strategy game you haven't picked up just yet. Maybe Hearts of Iron, maybe Crusader Kings 2, maybe a Total War. Check out my G2A affiliation link in the description below for cheap and reliable games. I do recommend going and checking out the prices even. There's some really good prices on there. Patreon and merchandise link in the description below, along with the Steam group. Come and join the community on Steam. And on that note, unfortunately, I have to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching once again. Make sure to take care of yourselves. Go out and have a fantastic rest of your day. My name has been Simpzy. Goodbye. Really close cinematic shots here, pushing through the bridge. Oh, look at... That was probably the shot of the video there.